We're going to talk to you today about the tools for debarking. You've seen a recently debarked log here, with the exception of the knots. It was debarked as one piece. The skin is laying in front of me, and that was done with a spud, and I'm going to show you spuds in just a moment. But many times it doesn't come off as easy as what you see here with the skin completely off, and we have to use draw knives when the bark is fairly thick and fairly tough to get down to the cambium layer. This is both of these are fairly ancient draw knives. This one has been this one in my right hand has been forged not only when it was made for its original job, but it's been bent up at the handles to clear the sides of the log when you're debarking a log. This is just a normal draw knife that has a little bow to it that makes it easier. It's normally what you would call a straight draw knife, but it does have a little bow in it, and that does make it slice easier through the bark. Now what we're going to show you next are three types of spuds. A spud is basically a debarking tool. They used to use them to debark hemlock and pines for a tanning process in the old days. So in the 1800s, they forged these in blacksmith shops. And I'm going to show you the advantage and disadvantage of the various spuds. This is an all steel spud. It's a little bit heavier. It's about 3 foot long. You can see it has an anvil tip on it, a spade if you will, and it's flat on the bottom here, rounded to a fairly sharp edge at the end, but it also has a bend in it, so it makes it a little easier to go around the log. So with the weight of that, you dig up under the bark and you're going around the log thus. This is another old spudding tool that was very common. You see this pattern fairly often in the old days. It's got a sharp edge down one side, a straight edge, in addition to a hook, and a spade-like end on it that's got a varying radius that you can also work around. Now this tool can be used also to debark. Let me know when it runs out, John. This can be used to work in the knots also. A little bit better than the first tool because, as you can see, it's a little bit smaller radius. Now here's the tool that's one of our favorites. It has a flat straight section on the end. It's a little lighter tool, so it's better when the bark is ready to come off, when it's fairly green and wet. It has a straight edge, but it has two different size radiuses on the corner. One is a fairly sharp corner, the other has a rounded corner, so this is also very good to work around knots with, cleaning down in the knot holes. You can use whichever corner works best. That tool, I'm fairly certain, was made sometime before 1900. That's obviously a handmade and a hand forged tool, but it's one of our favorite tools, and the debark bark that you see here was done with this specific tool by Jonathan, who had just finished this log before we started this demonstration.